This took us over a year to finally get made to our high quality standards, and we learned a lot along the way that we can share with you all in this video. The Gamers Nexus Media Modmat took a year of requests from viewers like you, feedback, and experience for the large Modmats to finally make. This is a 32-inch by 16-inch anti-static PC building surface meant to protect your desk and components while building systems, delidding CPUs, modding GPUs, or working with liquid cooling components. The GPU teardown diagram shows common placement of MOSFETs, inductors, capacitors, BIOS chips, shunt resistors, and more, offering some guidance when putting a block on a card, for example, or shorting the shunt resistors, which can be aided further by checking our PCIe wiring diagram to check shunt legs against the 12-volt pins on PCIe connectors. We also added mounting hole spacing for common GPUs to help with determining the right screw placement on new cooling blocks, something we'll talk about more later as it changed mid-development with thanks to Turing's launch. A lot of you have asked for a smaller version of the large Modmat that we've been selling for over a year now, so we finally got this medium variant made and on the store at store.gamersnexus.net, and this is what we're going to talk about today because it's a big experience for us and we learned a lot along the way of making this product. To celebrate the launch of the Modmat, we have 25 out of the signed ones that are also numbered. So you might get lucky if you buy one of the signed mats and get one that's numbered 1 through 25. We're only doing this for the launch just to kind of celebrate it, and they are mixed in there randomly with that first batch. So if you buy during the first batch, then you may get one of those. As for what the Modmat is, just like the large Modmat, it's a high quality material that's made in a factory that makes stuff for clean rooms. So these are serious factories, and it's a real proper anti-static material. It comes with the common ground point, the wrist strap, all of that stuff, and it does connect directly to ground to make sure it gets rid of any charge. And then finally, there's also a ruler on there for quick measurements if you need a quick reference ruler for doing any of your GPU mods or maybe quick cuts on liquid cooling and tubing. So this project started in about January 23rd of 2018. So over a year ago now, and people, of course, wanted a smaller version of the Modmat, which has been so popular that we still can't keep it in stock even today, but we're trying. It's been wanted for a while now. And what this project, the medium one, started with, and we didn't know it would take this tremendously long to really get it the way we wanted it, but we're very happy with how it turned out. It started with an email I just sent to Andrew, who did the design of this, as a reminder of what we wanted. So we determined we wanted a GPU teardown themed mat, which you can see in the mat itself. We've got the video card outline. It has component names. If you're taking apart a card the first time, you might not know what some of those things are, so they're labeled. And actually, this has been in development for so long that we made the video card that's on the mat and the labeling and everything before we made that poster, which has been on sale for several months now. So the design on that poster, if you have one, the same video card anatomy poster we sell in the store, you've basically had a preview of the Media Modmat without even knowing it. So there's your Easter egg. So yeah, that ended up on the poster. It was designed for the Modmat, and then we also did the dual silhouette thing I talked about. We've got GPU hole spacing, and then at the top corner over here we have the types of screws that are used in the most common types of video cards, so you can see the name of the screw and the type of the bit you're going to need to remove it, which is just kind of helpful if, again, maybe you're not as used to working with some of the cards, or even if you are, it just helps to kind of know what things are called so you can buy the correct ones or prepare for the card coming in. So anyway, that email, there were some changes along the way, of course, but that was January 23rd of 2018. The initial design was sent to our distributor in about mid-April of 2018. And then from there, we just started iterating on it really quickly. So lots of design, small changes just to kind of make sure it came out exactly how we wanted it in terms of things like legibility or vibrance and how bright the colors are. The large mats have been in use in this office on basically every workbench and work surface since we moved in, and they're used daily, and we haven't replaced any of them. So durability-wise, we're pretty happy with it, and that was applied here. Now, other things, I guess, on sort of to give you some insight as to what manufacturing sort of throws at people, this has once again taught us a lot about what the component manufacturers go through in the space. So just like we talked about last time with the large mats, one of the biggest benefits for us, other than a product we're obviously extremely proud of, is that we've learned what the manufacturers have to go through when they're getting stuff made. And so you start to learn how compromise works and how timelines work, and just sampling. We have a pile of samples, like these are some of them, and we have a whole bunch of others. So these are all samples, pre-production samples that we got made. Each one of these, plus maybe the 4 others that we have behind the camera, represents about a month in time. And it's just from changes being made. It has to be shipped obviously back and forth. We have to communicate with the factory to get new tooling done, things like that for cutting the mat size just perfectly. And over time, obviously it adds up. That's where we end up with a year of distance from starting the project and having to change things out, like where it used to say Polaris and now it says Touring, because Touring didn't exist when we started designing this mat. So its name probably wasn't even final at the time. So just to show you what we are, where we're coming from, this is the final design that you can buy on the store, again on store.gamersnexus.net. And it does come with the common ground point that goes right here, and it also comes with a wrist strap as well. That's all in the store. To show you where we came from though, manufacturers typically don't show you their prototypes because they really only want you to see the final thing, but we're fine with showing what we learned from. And part of this, so just again, we've got Polaris. This is one of the first, this might be the first sample. So Polaris is right there. And that was removed just because it sort of, we started when the RX 580 was really big, and now the RX 590 is out, of course. But Pascal there, Vega, and now we've got Touring on the final version with updated design. So like Andrew went through and did this stuff. It's pretty cool, actually. So in the original, we just had a block diagram, pretty similar to what you would see online for a GPU. And we changed it to have the outlines of the die and the memory modules. And so the end result is you have Vega here. This is an actual Vega die for 64 or 56. And it more or less lines up perfectly. And you can see the sort of the component outline, which is just sort of neat. And then Touring's over here, Pascal's over here, and those are just big die GPUs. They don't have HBM on them. So saturation we worked really hard on. So we really got this saturation up, and we're able to keep the durability by working with the factory just back and forth over several samples. Took a lot of time to get it done, but it was really important to us to have a good saturation, a good durability on the mat, and it took some time, but we were able to work with them on the printing process to get it done. And then also small stuff like, well, this is a user request even, so you see the snap location was in the top right up here near the grid originally, and now I've got it kind of flipped here. Now we've moved it so it is in the bottom left. And the reasoning for this, after kind of listening to some of you viewers in our audience, and we appreciate your feedback, the reasoning for this is, if you're over here with all your screws on the silhouette and you've got the snap up here, then the wire is going to drag across the silhouette and sort of scramble the screws. So it made a lot of sense, and that was good feedback from our audience, and we did incorporate that. That's the design then. That's the new medium mod mat. This is on the store already as of this video. The large mat's still being sold. It's still extremely popular. We're still struggling to keep it in stock. You have to remember a couple of things we've learned here as we've gone through this process is, of course, one is time and money are the biggest resources in any kind of development. And that's why we as a smaller outfit can't make like millions of products and just ship them out all the time. So we really appreciate your support. You're helping a small company do its thing. It allows us, as I've said before, to remain independent from as many advertisers as we can and push our own store stuff instead. So it allows us to just continue saying whatever I want to say on camera about companies like, Walmart. So just a recent example there that's still fresh in our minds. But yeah, other issues that have come up, you're always dealing with timelines. So working with the other side of the world means that sort of dealing with time zone changes and then working with like Lunar New Year, for example, can sort of interrupt the production process. And it's often a bigger impact than you might think. This affects the entire industry. And working on the mat taught us that when AMD launched, for example, Radeon 7 in the middle of Lunar New Year, actually at just the beginning of it, it can impact things like how quickly can you get more products made to hit the shelves, because it's a vacation time. And so that's something we've sort of learned more directly through working on products. We've learned about also the sampling timelines. Each one of these, again, like a month in time. to get it made and to come back here and then provide feedback and then get another one made. And because we started this in January of 2018, we also, towards the end of the year, started encountering concerns with like tariffs. Does the tariff increase that might or might not happen, again, from the perspective of 2018, does that affect us? And it did, because shipping costs went up a lot because people were panicking, trying to get everything out of the port before any change happened to the tariffs. So there was a lot of stuff we encountered. It's been a great learning experience, and again, the end result is a product that we're very proud of. So if you want to pick it up, it's on store.gamersnexus.net. It comes with the common ground point, the wrist strap, and the manual, just like the large one does. It's just that it's a bit smaller now. So if 4 feet by 2 feet in Freedom units was too large for you, there's now a 32-inch by 16-inch in Freedom units mat for you, and I'll put the metric on the store. So check, because I can't do the conversion in my head. So check that out. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for supporting us. And those of you who bought the first round of, or the large mats, and provided thoughts on like where the snap placement should go, that's of course extremely helpful feedback. We appreciate it. We did take it to heart and act on it for future products. So much appreciated there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll see you all next time.